Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for being here. This is great. Thanks so much for being here. We'll start just in a few minutes. While you're getting settled, please change your name to your first name and your JCC so that we can see where everyone's from.
Recording in progress.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. We're going to let a few more people into the waiting room, and then we'll get started. Thank you so much for being here. Great seeing all these faces on our screen. Always so exciting to gather with other people from JCCs across the United States and Canada. All right, I see it's right at the top of the hour. I'm going to start our time together in this new iteration of gathering people across the United States and Canada. Starting with, behold how good and pleasant it is when all people live together as one, from Psalm 133. Guided by the wise words of the psalmist, JCC Association of North America commits to build, nurture, and elevate a culture of belonging in which we welcome and recognize and celebrate people of all abilities and identities in accessible, safe settings throughout the JCC movement. Hello and welcome. My name is Joy Brand Richardson. Welcome to JCC Association Peer Community Convenings. I'm Vice President of Professional Development and Training at JCC Association. I use the pronouns she and her. I have shoulder-length brown hair and rimmed glasses. Today I'm wearing a white top over a purple top. I'm coming to you from my home office in Delaware, the indigenous land of the Lenape Nation. The main room of today's meeting is going to be getting to know each other and hearing from our chairperson, Monica Rosenbaum. We will be recording the session, and we are going to do an experiment in recording breakout rooms as well. Closed captioning is available, and I am joined by a few of my colleagues from JCC Association who will be helping us behind the scenes with tech support. Gathering exemplary JCC professionals together from across the continent is very important to strengthening the JCC movement. And these new peer community convenings are the latest initiative to achieve that goal. We'd like to offer some guiding principles for our meeting. We understand that people internalize information and reflect best in various modes of learning and in different formats. We also understand there may be people who are new to their role or those who have many, many years of experience. Each of us brings wisdom to the conversation. There are many concepts or information that are being presented that might feel commonplace to some people or might be something brand new to another. We ask that everyone participate in these conversations and approach each other with respect, to define terms and concepts, and we invite each of us to ask for clarity when we require it. At this time, I am very excited to introduce you to your chairperson, Monica Rosenbaum. Monica is the Senior Director of Operations at the Tucson JCC, where she oversees the member and user experience. Her full bio is on the JCC resource page. We are grateful to Monica for taking the role as the chairperson, as she has planned a great series of meetings for the membership program peer community. Yes. I'd like to invite Monica to unmute herself. It's all yours.
Thank you, Joy. So first, I just really want to thank JCC Association for seeing the importance of gathering all of our professionals across North America to engage in conversation more than just in our listserv and emails back and forth, but to have an opportunity to see each other and hear each other and add to the conversation. So thank you, Joy, for reaching out and giving me this opportunity. I recognize some of you and there's some new faces here, and it's always nice to see new colleagues. I come to this with over 20 years of experience working at JCCs in a multitude of roles, and hopefully can learn from all of you and share some of my knowledge as needed as well. Peer communities became apparent, especially during COVID, where we had less time of convening for conferences and a lot more things online, whether it was Zoom or email. The membership cohort at our last professional conference in, I believe it was 2019, kind of spearheaded saying, let's get together, let's continue conversations with each other. And we created a group called the Membership Mastermind. And over time, people had come and gone from their positions, and it really became taxing to try to keep up with it and continue those conversations, as well as it wasn't reaching the entire community. So when this opportunity came up from JCCA, I said, absolutely happy to jump in. And I've really been watching the listserv to see what are those hot topics? What is the most pressing questions out there that we're all struggling with, that some have found ways to work through it, and others are still trying to tread through the waters. So what better way than to discuss those and have dialogue together and see how we can assist each other. We're all in the same work. It feels different at each JCC, but there's a lot of similarities, and why reinvent the wheel when we don't have to. So I welcome you all today and thank you for joining us. And it is so nice to see so many colleagues on here. The way today's meeting will roll is in a few moments, we are going to go out into breakout rooms for about 5 minutes, small group, about 4 or 5 people, just to get introductions, get to know each other, reconnect if you do know each other already, just to give a familiar face and name to who we're speaking with today. When we come back, we will discuss the breakout rooms that we have for the remainder of our time together, covering 3 topic areas. The first being membership types and rates, because I know that's always a hot topic. Some of us have 6 and some of us have over 70. It's a lot of fun. Additionally, we will go into rooms to discuss retention plans, especially coming out of the pandemic. Many JCCs lost lots of memberships during that time. How do we keep hold and engage with our current community members and those new acquisitions to keep them long-term? And then the last group is going to be promotion and engagement. So again, moving on those ways of bringing in new members and how do we get them engaged? We know from all of the studies and benchmarking that if we have members engaging in 2.5 activity areas or more, that they are more likely to stay retained members. How do we engage? How do we move that needle forward and help people find those connections? So I do hope that what we discussed today resonates with everyone. My email will go into the chat. Please feel free to always reach out if you have suggestions for our next event or just to continue conversations in the meantime. So I welcome everyone and we can head into some breakouts.
All right, Tenna, we're going to put you into a breakout room. Hang in there.
Yes. There we go. Just did. I'm going to pause this.
Yeah.
Increased in the last 2 years, post-COVID.
So what was your pricing before COVID?
Well, so we also didn't offer no commitment options pre-COVID.
All Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Please put yourselves back on mute. so we don't get any of that feedback. Thanks for being in that small breakout room. We hope you got to meet a few of your colleagues. I see people are filing back in. The rooms are starting to close. As you come back into the main room, put yourself back on mute. Okay. Welcome back to the main room.
Hello, everybody. Hopefully you had some good generative conversations in your breakout. I know a few of us, including myself, are having some technical difficulties with microphones or internet connection. So if you pop out and pop back in, we will continue to welcome you back. Please feel free to use the chat function if your mic is not working, because we would love to still hear from you. So in a few moments, we are going to break out. You are going to get a pop-up on your screen asking you to choose a room. They are not pre-selected. You get to choose where you would like to go and what you would like to learn from. We do have 2 rooms of each topic that will be facilitated by some of our amazing colleagues. So in the membership types and rates room, we will have Alexis, who is the Director of Membership up in Vancouver, Columbia, British Columbia, Canada, and Ella, who is the Membership Director in Dallas, Texas. They will each be running one of those rooms. For retention, we have Chris from Jacksonville, who is the Membership Director, and Carrie, the Membership Director of Springfield, Massachusetts. And then in promotion and engagement, we have Jody, who is the Membership Director in Central New Jersey, and Tracy, who is the Director of Marketing and Membership Services in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So some of our folks that have been doing this a while, some that are still slightly newer. Shout out to Jody, who also as a former camp director moved into membership, because we like to do those things. But please select the room that you would like to go in. We are trying to limit it to about no more than 8 people per room so that you all will have time for good conversation. If the room does start to fill up, our good friends at JCC Association on the back end will kind of swoop us out and move us to another room. And we are going to attempt recording our conversations in each of the rooms. Those of you facilitating, please make sure when it pops up that you record to your local computer so that the file should come to you, and then you will get instructions after how to send that. So we are ready to see those rooms and enjoy your conversation, and we will come back at the end to debrief. At the bottom of your screen, if you are on your computer, there should be a little breakout rooms box that you can select which room you would like to go to. Anyone needing assistance, you can raise your hand or put in the chat what room you would like to go to, and we can help you get there.
JCC Association staff, Mark, Gennady, Gabe, you can choose a room that doesn't have a lot of participants if you want to move into one of those rooms. Hi, Eve. I see you just joined us. We're going into breakout rooms.
Okay, hi, I'm so sorry. I'm delayed. I had a member in my office.
That's okay. So on your screen, Sawyer, will you be able to move her into a room, or does she need to choose?
I'm on my phone, not on my computer.
Yeah, I think I need to choose for you now because the breakout rooms have already been created. So would you
Okay.
like to go to membership types/rates, retention, or promotion/engagement?
I think retention.
Retention, okay,
Thank you.
of course. 6 and 6. There you go. You should have the info. I guess it just sends her.
Kathy, are you in a room? Hello.
Hi, I was having some internet issues, so I was hopping around a little.
Yeah, we saw you moving from room to room. That's great. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back.
I think we have everyone back. I hope you enjoyed your breakout time. I would like to always ensure that we have time to debrief and share with each other what might have occurred in the other rooms that we have missed. I do believe the recording function worked for everyone, so I greatly appreciate those that help facilitate, and we'll get those recordings over. We will have this main session as well as those breakouts posted onto the resources page once we collect everything, and we will send it out to the listserv to let you know they are available. I did get a few emails from some of our other colleagues that wanted to be here and couldn't make it today for one reason or another, but they are very interested in hearing from all of us. So over the next couple of minutes, if I can have a volunteer, whether it's the facilitator or someone else from each room, just share a little bit of the key takeaways or tidbits that you discussed, I will open it up. Please feel free to unmute yourself and chime in.
I'll start with group 1. Can you all hear me? Okay, perfect. So we were the group that discussed rates and membership categories. We had Lynn and from Baltimore and Meryl from Atlanta and myself from Dallas. So in our discussion, what we saw that there are different structures that different JCCs use. One of them being a category, like a membership category for each age group and each like family, senior, blah, blah, blah. And then the other one being you have a category and then you have discounts for 8 different age groups within the same category. So those are like the 2 different structures. And then we also discussed about add-on, the concept of add-ons, whether you are adding on like a 75-year-old grandma onto your family account and charging extra for it, or an au pair, or you are adding on a specific program. So if you have just an essential membership which doesn't have access to tennis or something, then you can do an add-on with an additional payment. So those are some of that we discussed, and I'll put together the discussions and as an output.
Thank you so much, Ella. I always appreciate that. While we're talking membership types, Alexis or someone that was in that room?
Yeah, I can. We had a small room also. Actually, we had Tina from DC and Debbie from, I apologize, I can't remember which JCC Debbie was from. But we talked about the type of categories that we had. Tina's categories are quite different from Debbie's and mine. Tina's has fitness memberships that are individual and family, and then they have community and program memberships that are they pay $551 and they get discounts on they get the member rates on programs that they sign up for, so on things like camp and swimming and what have you. So that was quite unique, and I think we're all in the same boat where we're all trying to build up on where we were pre-COVID. And then as far as Debbie's memberships are concerned, hers are similar, where we have quite a few different number of categories. We've got family and single parent and adult, individual, students, young adults. And we also discussed about joining fees, because that was actually something that we at our JCC recently discounted overall. We did a big overhaul. So I was very curious to find out how the joining fees work at the other JCCs. And some are more flexible than others when it comes to whether they get waived. If somebody really doesn't want to pay it, there may be some flexibility. We don't really have that. Debbie talked about how they have a really amazing membership promotion where they offered $90 for 90 days. And they have a very large number of people that have joined for that. They don't require a commitment. So typically what will happen is they will do it so they can sign up for camp. And then there's, I believe, Debbie, you can correct me if I'm wrong, there was a 60% retention rate on that, which I actually, Tina and I were quite impressed with that. So, so yeah, that was kind of the gist of our conversation. We talked about the different categories, what the retention was like. We did not get the opportunity. We talked about the Friends of the J membership, which were for people who don't want to necessarily use our recreation, but still want to support. So that was a good conversation. That's something that our JCC has had for a number of years and has worked quite nicely for those who want to continue supporting, but don't necessarily want to utilize the facility.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of good stuff in that time frame. Retention, Chris or Carrie?
I'll hop in. So I think the recurring theme we had was trying to make current members feel the value of their membership without necessarily spending too much out of pocket. So trying to find creative ways for them to come in and feel appreciated, that we enjoy having them around, so that it's not just, I guess like the AT&T commercial. It's not just the new customers that are coming in and getting all the fun stuff. It's the current customers too. So like here at MyJ, we hand out fresh fruit the first Friday of every month because we really like alliteration. Barb out of the Cats, she said that they actually had a huge tailgate party. They had 800 people come for a Super Bowl tailgate party, which is incredible, with the cornhole, face painting, soft pretzels, some nachos, which is amazing. Mid-Island JCC, they had a huge open house in September. So they had an ice cream truck, hot pretzels, make your own pizza, a big hot pretzel thing. We do a lot of hot dogs here. They did a Chinese New Year coinciding open house in January with some giveaways. And then it also seemed to be, we had, I think, 6 or 7 people in our group that there's a lot of repeating some information through smaller communication processes. So like after you've joined, sending 1, 2, or 3 emails, a week, and then a week later, and then another week. So that way you let them know all the things that you have, like, hey, welcome, we've got all this great stuff. Next email, oh wait, did you know we have personal training? We have these spa amenities, you can upgrade these things. And then another email that's up, oh hey, guess what? We're a nonprofit. Wouldn't it be great if you donated? It'd make you feel nice and warm and fuzzy. And then we also have space rentals. Maybe you have your event here. So I think just recurring communication, and also in the format and the frequency with which the members hope to be engaged. So not disengaging people by over-engaging them.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Even as far as with the group that I was facilitating, we were talking things about like post-pandemic strategies of, how to bring people back, how to like re-engage people that have, may have left during the pandemic. We talked a lot about a post-pandemic strategies because my own JCC, we suffered a fire back in November. So we're in the process of rebuilding. So I'm very interested in, how did you guys get your people back? What'd you do? Because we're in the middle of it right now as well. So we talked a lot about that. We talked about different things. We're talking about some challenges that some of us have with guests and things like that, like maybe whether or not we want to limit how many times a guest comes each year, or do we not limit that? Different things along those lines. Mainly what we were talking about were the strategies and what types of things that we all did to engage our members. And like Chris was saying, how do we make them feel appreciated? How do we let them know that we're glad that you give us your money, but we're glad that you're here, not just, the money that you give us. This is what we're trying to offer you as a person, and how can we give back to you? So it was along a lot of the same lines.
Thank you. And I just want to call out and lift up we don't want just your money, we want you, because it is. We are building community. We are the faces that are building relationships. And there should be no barrier to being able to be part of that relationship. So I applaud all of you and appreciate that. Promotions and engagement, Jody or Tracy?
So we had a really nice discussion. There were about 6 or 7 of us also in our breakout room. And we talked about promotions first, and we have some agencies who are doing promotions essentially monthly. They are doing reduced join fees, some discounts on membership dues, but they are doing them monthly and changing them up. Then we have other J's that are doing a promotion once a year, and then we have some who do 5 a year. We were talking about Cyber Monday, Black Friday. There are those times to do promotions. January, which is another big promotion year. We talked about how members come into our facilities, and during their tour, they are brought to fitness and they have fitness assessments. A lot of us do that. And they'll offer a complimentary session. They'll offer a jumpstart package where you can buy personal training at a very reduced rate to get the engagement into the JCC. We also talked about where we go to promote our JCCs and how we do that. We have community partners within all of our communities. So there are street fairs. People are going into their local communities. I don't remember which JCC. They go to the local bank and they have corporate memberships. So they'll set up shop there and sign people up through a corporate membership with their local banks. We also talked about membership appreciation, and some JCCs are doing it monthly, where each department will take a month and they'll set up shop near the member services area, and they'll hand out water and some snacks and talk about all the programming that they are offering to the JCC members. Some people do things based on the holidays. So Hanukkah is a prime time where they will serve latkes in a room and engage the members to come in and eat while they talk. At our JCC, we do 8 nights of Hanukkah, where we raffle off something from the J from each department for 8 nights. People set up a cafe, a JCC cafe on Fridays, and they sell challah and they give out coffee. And some people do discounts, 15% discount to pay their membership dues in full. So those are all the different ways that we are doing promotions and engagement.
Thank you, Jody. And to round us out, Tracy.
So I'm going to try not to be repetitive of everyone. So I tried to mark what was different. So there were 5 or 6 of us in our group. And to spin off, I think it's Debbie that did $90 for 90 days. Amy in San Antonio, they did three months at $99, so very similar, but the difference was that she used that during her slow times. So it wouldn't, at a time when camp is at a premium and people might join for camp, she used that more to entice people in the 4th quarter of the year, October, November, December, when we typically have slower times. So just a slight spin. I think a lot of what was said was already talked about in ours. The one big difference that I thought was unique and hasn't been talked about yet, Kaylee and Holly in Jacksonville do something different than all of us. Maybe some of you, but not who are in my group or who have talked so far. But they partner with nonprofits for their membership special for each month. So for example, it's like, if you give a mitzvah, get a mitzvah, so to speak. So for example, they partnered with the United Way, and if people brought in socks for the United Way, they had some sort of discount. We didn't really talk about what the discount was, but I thought it was a great idea that they tie each month, their promotion is tied into doing something good for the community. So one month, if you brought cans in for the pantry, the socks, etc. So that's how they did it. And then there was a lot of talk about same thing, personal training, a lot of playing with the enrollment fee versus the monthly fee. So I think that was similar. When we talked about engagements, I think everyone seems to feel comfortable bringing people back into the building. And I do want to, you know, certainly tip my hat to Springfield, Massachusetts. I'm so sorry you have to go through a fire after we've all just tried to reengage people for COVID. So we're all here for you to lean on. But it does seem like for the most of us who, you know, haven't had anything happen, whether it be weather related or something such as a fire, we've all started to bring people back. Jesselyn talked about doing monthly things, bagels and coffee mornings. They had a Warriors watch party with popcorn and fun things, a check-in fitness challenge. So I think a lot of those things are starting to come back. Family appreciation days, member breakfast, pool parties. I think that was all sort of mentioned. But I think the common link is we're all starting to bring people back into the building to engage them. So other than that, it was a lot of things that were said, so I won't repeat.
Well, I thank you all. It sounds like we had great conversation. I'm so glad that we were able to come together. Hopefully these conversations continue on the listserv or with each other in offline conversations. We are having our next gathering will take place May 10th with our highlights being summer sales and staff supervision. So what are we doing for member acquisitions and retention to improve retention and acquisition around summer, as well as how are we becoming the best leaders and coaches for our professionals, and are we leaning into JCCA talent management because it is a fantastic resource. So with that, I thank everyone. Joy, if you want to close us out.
Thank you so much, Monica, for leading this group and for putting together a great session. I want to give a nod to my colleague Gennady Fable, who is the lead behind the JCC Resource Center. If you have materials that you want to post, you can send them to post@jcca.org, or you can send them to peercommunities@jcca.org, and we can get those things up so we can start to share materials. I'm sorry there's not enough time right now to, we're putting them in the chat. Thank you so much to everyone for being here. Thank you everyone for all the work that you do at your JCCs every day for your communities. We really appreciate all of you. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in May.
Is that